My question is, now that Howard, and I am so nervous, but so Leonard and Penny have set the date for the wedding, have you thought about casting the mom? Maybe Sharon Stone or Heather Locklear? And on a personal note, I want to say thank you to all the writers for a great send-off. You sent it for Carol and Susi. I thought it was beautiful. Thank you.
Carol Ann meant a lot to us. She was a family member. She was deeply funny, deeply talented, and she passed away this year. And we were faced with the challenge of what we were going to do about that. Does his mom move to Florida and stay okay? Does the character pass away? Do we try to replace the actress? These are all really tough questions that we had to deal with. And I think at the end of the day, the thought of replacing her was just impossible. We just cared about her too much.
Yeah.
You had...
Yeah, Carol Ann was, she was one of the lifelines of our show, and we were very sad, obviously, we were very sad with what happened. But her laughter and her charisma and her spirit lives on our stage every single day. She was an interesting woman. She never drove in Los Angeles. For 20 years, she took the bus. So I would see her at the bus stop outside the studio, and I would give her a ride in my car. And I had this sports car that makes loud engine noises. And she would sit in the car, and before we would take off, she would say, "Rev that engine up for me, rev that engine up for me." And I would, and then she would go, "Oh." And then she would always tell me that people would recognize her. She'd get on the bus, and the bus driver would recognize her from her voice. And that people everywhere in the country, wherever she would go, would recognize her from her voice. And she was a really wonderful woman, and we miss her and we love her. And more than anything, she'd want us to continue going on with laughter, because that's how special she was. Take another. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hi. So I'm a student studying engineering, and my question is, why does Sheldon hate engineers?
Well, the Saladins are engineers. Why are engineers bad?
He hates what he doesn't understand. I thought that's because Sheldon likes science.
Look what you started now.
With all due respect.
I think in the end, though, as long as people aren't geologists, we're all good.
I have a question. We did something very cool. It's not even a question. I just think it'd be fun to bring up that we did something very cool with UCLA. Chuck, if you want to talk about that for a few minutes, that would be nice.
Oh yeah, we started this scholarship for kids going into STEM educational paths. Science, technology, engineering, math, and this started a couple of years ago, actually, when we noticed that there was a trend in the United States and in England where kids were pursuing the hard sciences, and one of the reasons they were doing that was they were watching the show. Wow. And that was stunning. When this started at my kitchen table 10 years ago, we never imagined that people might make life choices based on what we were doing. And so it seemed like a natural progression of maybe we can help. So I think we have a little over $4 million in that fund. And this fall, 20 Big Bang Theory scholars starting to select. We get to hang out with them and stuff. And I think if we do it right, it'll go on. It should go on in perpetuity. So we just keep doing it.
Another question.
Hi, so my name is Cleon, and I was wondering, when you started the show 10 years ago, did you already have like an arc set up for where the characters were going to be in 10 years?
We honestly honestly didn't know what we were doing at all. We had no idea what we were doing, and I think it's pretty much well known that the first try was an absolute colossal miss on our part, and we got lucky, and we got a chance to do it again.
I think most of you in the room know what Chuck is referring to, that there was a first Big Bang Theory pilot that never aired, that never made it onto the network, and then they got another opportunity to do it.
In your opinion, Kunal, what was the biggest problem with the first version of the pilot?
Oh, me and Simon and Katie weren't in it.
I think he's right.
Take another question.
Hi, I might no disrespect to any of the writers, but I'm wondering, as the actors, have you ever pitched a story you really wanted to see yet that hasn't made it?
I mean, they're intimidating enough, okay? I don't know, I think in the first season I tried to pitch a joke and no one laughed in the audience after doing that, and that was the last time I ever tried, but you know, I think that there's a mutual respect. They really allow us to do what we do, and we really bank on them to do what they do well, because their words really make our job easier. So I don't think that we really, unless you have a story like
No, I don't have a story. I've never pitched a thing and would never think to. I think people see us as, one big unit, but as actors, our job is to take what's on a piece of paper and make you love it. Make you cry, make you laugh, make you feel something. But we exist in very separate professional roles, and I think this is a great opportunity, and I'm sure the entire cast would agree. You think you love your cast, these are the people you love. This is who makes all those characters.
It really is a partnership. We've been blessed. We have the most amazing cast, and there's a certain honesty and humanness to these people in the cast of The Big Bang Theory that allows you to love them, and vulnerability and willingness to take risks, and it doesn't just happen by the words themselves. It really, we've been blessed over and over again with this cast, and it's stunning to see how deep and rich it is. And we, when Mayim and Melissa joined the cast, it just opened the show dramatically, so we've been very lucky as writers.
We'll take a few more questions.
Hi, I'm Helen. So, when we first met Amy, she and Sheldon both were uncomfortable with intimacy in their relationship, but then as the seasons progressed, Amy suddenly evolved, whereas Sheldon gradually evolved. So, what made you change that aspect in Amy's personality quicker than Sheldon?
I think that Amy had really longed for all of this. She didn't have friends, she didn't have Penny, she didn't have Bernadette, and after a lifetime of loneliness and craving that, she had access to somebody who could put her on the fast track. And with that came these desires for a boyfriend, and all those other things came along with it. And like all the characters on the show, they have grown, as have Sheldon and Amy and their relationship. So
yeah, I think Sheldon really needed a reason and a specific person or event that might lead to some catalytic reaction in his existence. But yeah, I think that's exactly it. Amy absolutely was wanting a life with something more than herself, and it all came quickly, as it were, and it's taken much longer for Sheldon.
But I think it's, they start out in a similar place, but for different reasons. Sheldon had backed off from the world by choice, and Amy hadn't had the opportunities. And so they started in the same, it may have looked like the same place, but it came from a very different place.
I have a question. How do you guys go about ordering lunch in the writer's room? Because I've heard that's a very sophisticated and complex ritual every day.
We have many rituals in the writer. We have lunch ordering system. We have Eric's life hacks. that where we have to breathe. What is the thing where you breathe? You have to get oxygen.
I have to get oxygen, but that's not just me.
No. Eric came in with many life hacks to improve our life, and one was a breathing thing we were all supposed to do before we write.
That one?
Yeah. Well, you're supposed to rapidly breathe.
Rapidly breathe. Yeah.
Eric has improved our life because he researches things to make our life better. You have.
Oh, I can show you this one.
You have.
Oh, yeah, this one.
You can save time. You can save much time of your life by this method of removing your shirt.
And I don't. This is from someone called the Russian life hacker, who I should give props to on the internet.
Putting it back on. We'll take a couple more questions. I swear Eric did 35 push-ups in the back just to make sure that.
I'm not actually an exhibitionist. I was thinking about this when someone suggested, I think it was Mr. Stephen Lorre, that I do the shirt taking off life hack in front of 5 million people.
It's only 4,200. It's
only 4,200. I have pitched and written jokes where Kunal is shirtless. So how can I, in good conscience, ask you to take your shirt off?
I have not shaved my chest in 18 years. I'm not going to share that with 4,200 people. We're family? It's even worse. We'll take a few more non-sexual questions.
We have time for one more question.
Who is that?
Question for the writers about character choices. I've noticed that with Penny, in the early seasons, she was usually the character who didn't know. A lot of her humor stemmed from what she didn't know. And then, or suddenly, she would very much know about pop culture or about manly things like cleaning fish. But I've noticed in season 8 that's pretty much dropped, and she's usually the straight man who always knows, and I'm curious why this changed.
Well, she's always been more skilled. I mean, she grew up on a farm. She's always had car repair skills and outdoors and shooting and things like that.
But I don't think I think she always knew about pop culture. She certainly didn't know about the science that the guys were talking about. And what I love that there's been a progression for Penny about her knowledge of the science fiction shows that the guys watched. In the beginning, she didn't know what the TARDIS was, and now here in seasons 8 and 9, she's not thrilled that she knows about it. she will whip out a TARDIS reference, and that's just more growth on the part of the characters.
Can we do one last question, or am I going to get one more? Okay, people are yelling at me. One more, quickly.
Really fast.
All right. Nice to meet you. My name's Dave. I got the honor to see you guys at the season finale, so nice to see you again.
Thank you.
My question for the writers is, how did you guys go about conceiving of rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock? How many times did it take to get through that successfully?
So that is, we should credit one of the men saying.
I want to say Sam Bass. I apologize. Sam Cass.
Sam Cass. So Sam Cass, this is a wonderful invention by a man named Sam Cass, who was a computer programmer, and he had put it online. In the first episode where it was used, the reference to Sam was cut, and we made sure when we referenced it again that the characters said "All hail Sam Cass."
Yes.
To acknowledge this wonderful gift of a thing that we found on the internet, and Jim learned it.
Yeah, I was in that scene with Jim. But that probably did not more than 4 days. Probably. I mean, Jim's a genius. Jim really is a genius.
Jim is really good at memorizing things like that in some kind of strange supernatural superpower way.
I think that's it, right? Okay. Come on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, please. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Rory. I was wondering why you guys picked a soft kitty than any other animal.
Is there
Porcupine tossed around.
Soft porcupine.
Oh, yeah. You guys want to sing Soft Kitty? I don't know the words, so please take it away. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr. We love you guys so much.
The casting created